Okay, so now that we've got nutrition wrapped up, we're going to talk a little bit more about sleep and why it's so important. Now, I'm not going to bang on about the fact that you need to get 6, 7, 8 hours sleep a night, because that's kind of like, you probably already know that and you probably already hear about that. And that's difficult to do for most people just because of stress and other things going on in life, and I appreciate that. But sleep is so, so important to helping you reach your goals. It is arguably the most underrated tool, and good levels of sleep are going to help with your stress, they're going to help you with performance, they're going to help you with weight loss efforts, all of those things. Sleep is a huge, huge thing. And you'll often find that people that that sleep less, or if you ever get a night where you just have a shitty sleep and you don't get much, you tend to overeat the next day because you tend to compensate for the lack of sleep by eating higher calorie dense foods and going out of your way to get foods that are more convenient, rather than actually like making things yourself, or just kind of choosing lower calorie options that are better suited to your goal because you just reach for other things, and so that's a big problem with a lack of sleep. So when we're talking about sleep, like I said, a lot of people talk about getting 6 to 8 hours sleep a night, which is great, but ideally for most people, like 2 to 3 hours of deep quality sleep is going to be ideal. That's key. So that I'm not saying just go to bed for 2 to 3 hours a night. Obviously try to go to bed for like 6, 7, 8 hours a night. But if 2 to 3 of those tend to be quite deep, like REM sleep if you like, then that's a huge step in moving in towards the right direction of getting closer to where we need to be. So in order to do this, we use something called pre-bed rituals. So you might have heard of a few of these things before, but like not too much blue light, like TVs and laptops and phones and things like that, an hour or so before bed. Just letting yourself unwind without the stress of kind of like watching other things and emailing and things like that, and your brain just goes into overdrive thinking about things. So let it unwind naturally. Read a book, go for a walk. Those kind of things tend to work quite well before bed. If you really, really need to kind of like watch TV or go on your laptop to do some work or whatever, like maybe like try and turn the brightness right down on your laptop screen and put like the blue light on your phone and things like that. Just try and get your face and eyes away from like too much light before bed, because that leads to problems with sleep. Caffeine and booze is another one. So caffeine can actually affect you for up to 6 to 8 hours, believe it or not. So if you have a coffee at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, then that caffeine could still be in your system by 10 o'clock, which is when you're trying to unwind to go to bed, which obviously isn't ideal. And so naturally this impacts sleep, whether you think it does or doesn't. So try and minimize your caffeine intake in the afternoon. That's fairly generic advice, but try and minimize it. Calorie consumption from booze is huge. So not only is it going to affect your sleep quality, but it does contain a fair few calories, 7 calories per gram in fact for most alcohol. So it's going to affect your sleep and it's going to increase calories. Now 2 to 3 glasses of red wine a week, then fine. If that helps you unwind and you can fit it into your calories, then no worries. But if it's becoming a problem where you drinking every night to go to sleep, that's probably not a good thing. So that's something we can talk about. Nutrition, like if you think about it when you were a child, or just children in general, they might be given like a glass of warm milk or some hot cocoa before bed, which helps them unwind, and they know that is the kind of like trigger to, okay, this is the time to kind of relax, we're going to go to bed. That actually can work really well, believe it or not, for adults too. So like things like chamomile tea, I quite often have a green tea before bed. So that's my thing of like, okay, half an hour or so before bed, I'm having my green tea, now I'm unwinding, now I'm going to go read my book, and then I'm going to get into bed, and that kind of works well for me. So things like that tend to work quite well. Getting more sleep is a difficult one. It's not easy to do. If none of these things are working for you and you don't feel like you're getting enough sleep, come and talk to me and we'll have a little talk about other possibilities that we can use to try and help you. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. But really trying to nail down the sleep alongside of your nutrition is going to have a massive impact on your results. So do what you can. That's it for email 7. Tomorrow we're actually going to talk about something called NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is a pretty cool thing. So stay tuned for that. Speak to you soon.